So, Cats, my name is Tom. I'm the crypto investor, and it's time for our weekly market roundup. As ever, we start with the heat map of the top 100 tokens in crypto. And you can see that, it's a checkered board, really, isn't it? We were pumping, we were looking beautiful, and then we got hit by inflation, we got hit by the instability in Ukraine, and we reversed a little bit. Ethereum's down 2.5% on the week. Bitcoin's up 2.5% on the week, more of a safe haven. We are seeing other L1s down mostly. Solana down 16%, NEAR down 20%. Elrond bucking the trend, up 26%. Cardano is up 20%. And over here, of course, the real quality is shining through. You've got Shiba up 30%, XRP up 24%. The nonsense and memes doing well because it's crypto, isn't it? And then you've got Leo token. This is the Bitfinex native token, and this is pumping on the back of the $3.5 billion worth of Bitcoin being found from the money launderers. You may, if you haven't seen that, where are you hiding? We'll talk about that in a bit. But there we go. Looking at the bubbles. Much the same, really. Not too much else to draw from that. Crypto.com's token Crow is doing rather well, and I'll talk about that in a second. You can see it has managed to put on 12% nearly TVL this week, up, and 25% for the month. If you're new to the channel, if you don't know what TVL is and what these other L1s are, let me just briefly explain that to you. So L1s are basically, you could think of them as land. They're like or code. Like they're the basic foundation that other cryptos are built on. L1 stands for layer 1, and then when we talk about layer 2s, that's stuff built on top of it. So stuff built on top of it could be effectively banks or DeFi protocols or games, and so these are critical, really. These are the foundational pieces. You could also think of them as like operating systems, like Apple, Huawei, Samsung. And so and you can see that, the big boy is Ethereum, had the first mover advantage of being the very first ever smart contract cryptocurrency. And it has this year really given up some of its dominance, or a lot of its dominance. Its dominance was at 96%. It's now sitting just under 60%, but of a much bigger pie, of course, to all these other L1s. And so we have Terra Luna in second place. Avalanche is looking strong, up 6% this week. But yeah, I just wanted to check on Kronos, the CRO token from crypto.com, because it's really quite impressive that they're up to 2.3 billion. When you compare that to Polkadot, who are up 84% this month, but still only at 1.3 billion themselves. It's making moves. I don't know what's driving all their TVL, but hats off to them. Okay, so the big news, two big news catalysts this week that turned the markets around, really. We were up 10%. And then we got the inflation numbers out of for CPI, for consumer core inflation, and it was expected to be 7.3%. It came in at 7.5%. And why does this matter? This matters because it means the Fed have to do something. If inflation gets run away, then it crashes the economy. So they have to do one of their two things they can do. They can raise interest rates, or they can increase the speed that they do the taper the bond buyback. So basically turning off the money tap, or the printer goes brr. So this forces their hand to do it. This is the highest that inflation's been in 40 years. And this means that your money in the bank is halving every 7 years at this rate. It's incredible. This is why we have to put our money in assets. But, this is not financial advice. You know this. I'm just a guy on the internet. But if you do find any value in the content I put out, please press the like button and comment, and please the YouTube overlord algorithms. So this turned the markets around just because the markets don't like being surprised. 7.3 would have been fine. 7.5, fear. It just means that the probability of the Fed doing something has been increased. And then, of course, on Friday, the tensions between Russia and Ukraine ratcheted up significantly. Countries have said to most of their citizens to leave the Ukraine. They have asked people from their embassies to leave, and it looks like war is imminent, with the invasion on Wednesday being tipped. But it seems very telegraphed. It's very strange. Of course, with 100,000 men on the border, Russia are like, how dare you accuse us that we might be about to invade Ukraine? But markets hate uncertainty. Even though Russia invading Ukraine on its own probably won't do anything to stop consumer sales in the US and whatever it might be, it's the fact that obviously that this potentially is an unraveling. It's a destabilization of our planet, of our social structures, our social systems. And so, the fear is that this is a catalyst that leads to something else. So yeah, that's why markets hate uncertainty. And right now, it's undeniable how correlated the crypto markets are with the stock markets. All right, but I just want to share this with you. Markets, timing the market is better than timing the market. There are reasons for crashes and wars every decade. We have this. But if you remain invested for the longevity, the long term, then you invariably win. To try to pull your capital out of your investments and then jump back in and pull out and jump back in is a mug's game, and it's not worth the stress and effort. And watch my other video a few weeks back about that. So, all right, let's get on to the good stuff, the bullish stuff. So Kpmg Canada have just said that they have allocated crypto assets to their balance sheets. They've got Bitcoin and Ethereum on their balance sheets. These are one of the biggest auditing and taxation companies in the world. They provide consultancy to thousands of the largest companies who would look for them for their guidance on whether they could hold crypto assets. So this is not like some kind of fringe tech company. This is an old established accountancy firm, effectively an auditing firm, who are doing this, which really is a big old green light to many other businesses to do so who may have been scared to dabble into crypto onto their balance sheets. So anyway, I think that's really some of the biggest news of the week personally. Blackrock, who are the world's largest asset manager, with $10 trillion under management, which is huge, and I'll show you how big that is in a minute. They're going to offer Bitcoin trading, and these guys they own most of the ETFs, the funds. So if you looked at iShares funds, they're owned by BlackRock. So 10 trillion. And yeah, if they get the Bitcoin ETF, and they've got a lot of weight and a lot of power to potentially do so, then that's huge, absolute huge. And so yeah, just to share with you what 10 trillion represents. So this is different assets by market cap, and the most valuable asset by total market cap. All the gold in the world added together comes to $11.8 trillion. And then second, significantly less, is $2.7 trillion for Apple. So if you actually valued BlackRock by their assets under management, and that was their market cap, then they would come in at number 2. So that's how big they are. And then, you come down this list, Microsoft, the Saudi oil company, Aramco, many may be surprised to see how large that is. Silver, Tesla, Bitcoin at number 9 with $809 billion of value. So, it's pretty significant, really. Berkshire Hathaway, Taiwan Semiconductors, Visa, and then we get down to number 28 is MasterCard, and then doing more transactions than MasterCard is Ethereum, and with growth potential significantly greater. So here's Ethereum at $356 billion, at 29th most valuable asset, worth more than Nestle, Exxon, Alibaba, Pfizer, Walt Disney, yada, yada, yada. So it's just an interesting comparative exercise there to take a look at that by market cap. All right, let's get back into the bullish stuff. Uber will accept Bitcoin and crypto in the future at some point. I mean, it's kind of woolly, but this was their CEO basically saying, we can't wait to accept it. We plan on accepting it. It's coming. It's just we can't really tell you when. That was on their earnings call this week. Microsoft are hiring a director of crypto and business development. Of course they are. Disney is hiring for the metaverse. Of course they are. They've already been selling NFTs in this space, and they're a perfect business for metaverse profits. Nintendo, we're interested in the metaverse and NFTs and feel their potential. Everyone's at it. Do you think everyone's wrong? Can all these large corporations with all their analysts be wrong? Intel, they're to create a blockchain acceleration unit. Not sure what their acceleration unit is, but again, it's all good signs. Binance are investing $200 million into Forbes in an effort to educate consumers on crypto markets. I mean, you could say educate or somewhat coerce and lobby, but it's great for us. I mean, it says sentiment neutral. You think about how Bezos bought the Washington Post to ensure that his beliefs and thoughts are represented in the media. It's just the same for Binance. It's just another way of getting that kind of soft power out there, so the rhetoric favors crypto rather than goes against it. Wells Fargo, old incumbent bank, put this together, which is looking at the potential explosion we're about to see in crypto. And so this is technology F's curve. So you can see, the automobile adoption, the color TV, radio, etc. And here we are with crypto. We haven't got started yet. And this illustrates it really well as well. This is compared to the internet. And, we're just here about to go on our growth curve. But, it's not even begun. And, wait till NFTs, every purchase you make comes with an NFT. Wait till the Indian rupee comes out next year, and that's 1 billion people onboarded. But we haven't even begun the hyper-growth phase of crypto yet. We're just so early. I know we always say we're early, but we really are. The Super Bowl is tonight, and they're calling it the Crypto Super Bowl. And this is a big deal. I mean, it's a big old audience. I don't know how many people watch it, but probably like 2/3 of America watch it. I imagine it has about 1 billion viewers worldwide. One of the players is getting paid in Bitcoin. Bitcoin will be given out by FTX, depending on the number of minutes played. I think it's going to be 90 to 100 Bitcoin is going to be given out to one person. Two of the people performing own Bored Apes, and maybe someone's going to be rocking a hoodie. Who knows? There's going to be crypto ads for the first time. I think we're expecting Crypto.com. I think they're expecting 6 or 7 different companies to advertise during this. It's going to be interesting to see. There'll be a concert in the metaverse. But yeah, it's all good exposure. Maybe we'll see a pump on the back of the Super Bowl. This is out today that Idaho has introduced a bill to define smart contracts, private keys, multi-sig, self-custody, and digital assets as I don't know what they're doing with it, but they're basically ensuring that people that own them have that it's appropriately represented as what it is, not as a security. So it's good to see the senator of Idaho. What's her name? She was walking around with the Bitcoin standard in her hand last week, and clearly is very bullish on crypto and trying to get a fair representation for crypto in Congress. This new Apple iPhone feature gives the ability of merchants to effectively take payments in crypto. I mean, this is a little tenuous. I initially tweeted this in excitement, but I've since reduced my excitement somewhat. So this is quite cool that you can touch iPhones and pay contactless to merchants or to friends. And all this really is saying from a crypto sense is that you could use your Coinbase card or your Nexo card or Crypto.com Visa card to make those payments. So it's not crypto direct payments within the iPhone. They're not changing the App Store parameters to allow that. But it does mean roundabout way you can pay for your Uber, your Airbnb and stuff using your Coinbase card or your Crypto.com card. Russia moves to recognize crypto as a form of currency. So Russia were banning crypto last month, and now they're pro-crypto. And I think this is just game theory to push up against the US dollar. They hate, obviously, the fact that the US has the global reserve currency, that if you go to buy oil, you've got to buy dollars to buy your oil. If they can allow you to buy oil in Bitcoin, if they can start to grow this space, then it erodes the dependence on the US dollar, I guess. So that's probably what game theory Russia has on this. They see it as a good way to erode the US dollar. This is interesting. So lens.dev, this is from the guys at Aave, and it is a Web3 social media platform like a social network built on Web3. From what I understand, I haven't really looked deep into it, but the every post you make, so imagine every time you make a tweet or a post on Facebook, that's immortalized in the blockchain. So it can't be, so it's unequivocal and effectively becomes an NFT. So you can live by or die by those quotes. They are they're permanently on the record. But you could also, in the same way that Jack from Twitter sold his first tweet, those tweets are in a way an asset as well. But it becomes like an irrefutable source of information. Could be interesting. Maybe just the first of many different ways that social media platforms will be born out of Web3. I quite like that it's permissionless and non-custodial. I detest how on Facebook I could post a photo and get 150 likes, but if I post a link to my business, I get 10 likes because the algorithm does not favor a link because it means you're going to leave their platform. It's really irritating. It's not fair. All right. So we're talking about Bitfinex getting hacked to the tune of $3.5 billion back in 2016. That was. And it was these guys, apparently. Well, they've certainly been found to have the money and be money laundering. If you haven't seen Ozark, it was quite a nice comparison. But just crypto is ridiculous. So this woman, what's her name? Here she is, Heather Morgan. And if you haven't watched her Instagram videos and stuff, she takes a piss out of herself completely, as you can see. She's quite funny, terrible rapper. Maybe she knew that she was going to get caught eventually. Maybe she was just creating a beautiful amount of nonsense for crypto Twitter to get hold of. But it was these guys, as I say, we're living in a simulation. Her and her husband were the ones who sold $3.5 billion. Mad, absolutely mad. So we'll see. Anyway, the Bitfinex token Leo has pumped on the back of this that potentially token holders may get remunerated for more than their fair share. They got paid out back in the day for the US dollar value of 70 million that was taken. That US 70 million has now turned to 3.6 billion. So I don't think you'll see any further enriching of the Bitfinex lot. And this is Alchemy, who said, if I'm quite a Pocket fanboy, Alchemy are a centralized version of Pocket. And they just had another $200 million raised, and they're now valued at $10 billion. Huge valuation. And Pocket has a valuation of $900 million, so about 9% of Alchemy. So for me, it just, a decentralized version of it with 9% of the valuation seems pretty good from where I'm sitting. And on the Pocket story, just about 12 hours ago or so, Thunderhead, who are one of the node operator that you can outsource your node operating to for Pocket, they've just released T-Pocket, which is their mirror token to Pocket. So T-Pocket is a one-to-one token that you get yield from. So effectively, T-Pocket is working as a generating a yield through Thunderhead's nodes. What am I talking about? Is this the right page? No, it's not. This one, no, this one. Yes, so you can effectively see these returns that you would be getting 0.8% a day or 735% APY. So this is higher than you would get running your own nodes because they are compounding hourly. So Pocket Pool is the other option to do this. This, I believe, has a 20% fee baked into it, which is double that of Pocket Pool, but it does have a higher rate of compounding, and you do have higher liquidity as well. So you can change your money to stablecoin rather than wait 21 days. And I believe it's going to have DeFi options as well, so you'll be able to borrow against this capital too. So you can use it as collateral. So this is really interesting. This for me could well fuel demand for Pocket quite significantly once the degens out there realize they can get this kind of yield and borrow against it. So we'll see. My only concern really is that the number of nodes running for Pocket is going up faster than the number of relays that are coming in. So the reward per node is potentially going to go down. but the token price should go up, so it should balance out in a way. But anyway, this is quite interesting. This, of course, this is a third party. This is not officially from the Pocket guys. T-Pocket could lose its peg to Pocket, but this is crypto. You understand the risks, and these yields are pretty ridiculous, aren't they? Fruity stuff. All right, come on then. Let's get into the charts. So I'll start with the Nasdaq, just because I think we need to look at TradFi once more. Nasdaq was up several percent on the week, turned around, ended at the low of the session. In fact, the lowest it's closed for 7 months, is that? Yeah, 240 days. So that's not good. Closing low means that probably follow through is likely unless we see a de-escalation in Ukraine. 14,000 is next support, and which should offer fairly decent support. We will see. It all really depends on what the Fed does in the next month, and obviously what happens in Russia. But this is what dragged the markets down, the crypto markets. If we look at the weekly candle for this is total crypto, so all the cryptocurrencies within reason added together, and you can see that, you can see that this represents a great buy opportunity, right? If you think of this as a long-term channel, this is an excellent time to be buying. It's a very simple way of putting it. You buy low and you sell high, or you just hold long term. But this is a great accumulation price, if you ask me. It did look like we were breaking out of this downward channel. We've been in this downward channel for 90 days, and we got the breakout. You could argue that we've got the breakout, now we're just retesting and we're going to resume up. Maybe we dawdle down here for a bit and we head up, or maybe we're wrong and we lose this and it all goes to shit. But I don't see it when you factor in this. You get the idea. So it's a shame. Like if we had not had the inflation news, if we had not had the Russian news, and we had closed up here, then it would be looking uber bullish. But again, I still feel that they are somewhat noise compared to the signal of adoption. I still feel that the probability is we grind on up. I wanted to show you something also quite interesting, which is valuing Bitcoin in Nasdaq. So basically comparing Bitcoin to the Nasdaq, and you can see that Bitcoin in 2017 versus the Nasdaq went all the way up here. Obviously came back down, went to shit, and then we came all the way back up here. And you can see that this has acted as resistance. We couldn't close above it until we could. And then we came back down, found resistance here again at that previous high. So it's amazing how much this interacts. It means that people out there are trading based on it. And then you can see that right now, that's exactly where we are again, this previous peak. Weird. So basically you can see that in the last 2 weeks, Bitcoin, after this big sell-off, has outperformed the Nasdaq by 24% and potentially has more to go. And you could certainly make a fair point for the probability that we do something like this and then joink or joink. But I just find it quite fascinating that there's clearly this has a strong correlation, and there is a trading pair here. When you look at ETH, it's much the same, except a much steeper trajectory. ETH outperforming the Nasdaq faster than Bitcoin, and again the same point of resistance. Quite fascinating. But you can use this. You can put this onto your trading view, and as and when we come into these support lines, it's a great time to be selling stocks for Bitcoin or Ethereum, and vice versa up here, until we potentially break out. Because let's be honest, long term, these assets are going to outperform growth stocks. In my humble opinion, not financial advice, I'm just a guy on the internet, etc. Okay, and then let's look at the actual charts themselves. So Bitcoin. So we broke this downward channel. We've since come up. We thought we'd get resistance of 46,000. We did. It's exactly where we failed to, where the news catalyst dragged us back down. We're since bouncing now at 42,000. We will see. Again, argument for us beginning a new upward channel here. Maybe something like this now plays out. But I would say, I still feel that there's somewhat of a momentum shift here. to the upside. The same with Ethereum. We were in this downward channel. We broke below it. Breaking below it really was feeling like we were oversold. We've come back up. We are still in that downward channel. You can't deny it. But then we're in an upward channel within a downward channel. And actually, if you look at this on a shorter time frame, really quite a nice buying opportunity at the moment, because we've got this major trend line. I'll just show you that one. Major old trend line, which would act as support. And then we have this small kind of channel that we're in right now as well. So right now we're bouncing here. This for me is the big deal. Getting out of this downward channel is the big deal. That's the momentum shifter for me. So right now coming in probably around, it'll probably be in line with this. So yeah, around 3,300. We get above 3,300, then we're going to all-time highs in my opinion. So yeah, that's where I see this. Let's just get a line on there. That's a biggie. There we go. All right, but we're climbing a wall of worry. We're working our way back up. Looking at ETH versus Bitcoin. ETH, of course, losing ground to Bitcoin, because when the market goes down, Bitcoin becomes a more desirable safe haven. And so we've seen that there. And looking at Bitcoin's dominance is quite interesting. You can see that we have bounced 3 out of the last 4 weeks. Bitcoin's dominance is up 10% or so, making its way up. And maybe it comes all the way up to here. And there's clearly a channel to be had here. So maybe Bitcoin has another 11% of so or dominance, and maybe it's actually not a terrible position to be in, really. I don't own any Bitcoin, but it could well outperform for the next few weeks or so, particularly whilst there's uncertainty. And if you think about how Bitcoin is preferable to gold, and gold right now is on the way up on the back of the instability in the Ukraine, and gold has just potentially broken out of this huge pennant formation that has been forming for, was it 2 years? Yeah, 600 days. It's not confirmed as a certain break, but a weekly close above this trend line is quite a big deal. Another close back above here would probably see us going towards all-time highs for gold, and gold and Bitcoin obviously do share similar safe haven properties. Okay, what else? Let's look quickly at ETH dominance. ETH dominance is at 18.6%, down, of course, on the week to Bitcoin's dominance, but still very much holding its upward expanding channel. And that's really it. I'll quickly look at Metaverse. Metaverse versus Ethereum, holding up fairly well, considering you'd expect alts to be bleeding to Ethereum. It is down, but it's still, again, up in that upward channel. Land sales in the Metaverse are hitting record highs. It's no wonder, when you see the likes of Disney and Nintendo and such making noises, that Metaverse tokens are doing okay. But you're not missing out tremendously if you consider versus Ethereum. This is the MVI index and Metaverse tokens. All right. Let's look at Pocket quickly. So Pocket, since going on exchange, had that horrible bleed. It's now really been consolidating sideways. Once Pocket gets above 1.45, then I think we'll see it move up to $2. But it's not really fair to value Pocket like this because of the inflation. 25% per month inflation on Pocket earned through running nodes. And so it's the market cap that matters. And the market cap is just sitting at $1 billion right now. All right. I think that's it for now, Crypto Cats. I hope you found that useful. If you do get any value out of it, as I said, please do smash the like button, share it with your mates, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next Sunday, yeah? All right. Take care. Speak soon. All the best. Bye.